a monstrous villain slaughtered the golden king of the Nile. And for 5,000 years, history has forced us to call him a devil. Prophecy and politics are the twin blades that rewrite reality. We have been blinded by the beautiful myth of Osiris, the peaceful, perfect ruler of Egypt. We were taught to hate his brother Set, the lord of red sands and violent storms, the monster who tore the king into 14 bleeding pieces. But history is a ghost story told by the executioners who won. What if the perfect king Osiris was actually a weak, paralyzed ruler whose pacifism almost starved Egypt to death? And what if the monster Set was the only warrior strong enough to push back the encroaching horrors of the desert? Today, we strip away the holy lies of the pharaohs through buried temples and forgotten pre-dynastic wars. We launch a cinematic investigation into the real villain of Egypt. Turn off the lights because the sand is about to speak. To uncover the truth of Set, we must first look at the names of the men who conquered the world. Look at the sacred hieroglyphs etched into the golden walls of the new kingdom. The greatest military minds of Egypt, the pharaohs who expanded the empire to its absolute peak of wealth and power, did not name themselves after the peaceful Osiris or the solar horse. They named themselves Seti, the chosen of Set, Seti the First, Seti the Second, Pharaoh Setnart. Why would the most powerful living gods on earth align their immortal souls with a supposed demon? Because archaeology confirms a forbidden truth to the royal court. Set was not the devil. He was the ultimate symbol of raw, untamed military power. He was the god of soldiers, the patron of the border guards, the brutal force that kept Egypt safe from foreign invaders. The pharaohs didn't need a saint to protect their borders. They needed a monster. And Set was their warrior king. The ultimate proof of Set's heroism lies hidden in the deepest hours of the night, every single night. While the mortal world slept, the sun god Ra had to sail his sacred barge through the terrifying underworld of the Duat. And every night, a monster of infinite nightmare rose from the Black River to swallow the sun and end existence. Apophis, the cosmic serpent of absolute annihilation. The ancient texts state a chilling reality. Every other deity on the solar barge, including Osiris himself, fled in absolute terror, paralyzed by the serpent's hypnotic, deathly stare. Osiris could not stop it. Isis could not trick it. Only one entity stood alone at the prow, staring back into the eyes of ultimate darkness, Set, wielding a massive, heavy iron spear. Set was the only warrior with a mind chaotic enough to resist the serpent's spell. He drove his blade into the beast's skull, night after night, ensuring the sun would rise tomorrow. The villain of Egypt was the only reason the universe didn't end in darkness. Long before the first pyramid was built, before Egypt was even a unified nation, archaeology reveals a shocking religious landscape at the prehistoric site of Nakada. In Upper Egypt, excavators uncovered massive, wealthy tombs dating back to 4000 BC, dedicated entirely to the worship of Set. In this pre-dynastic era, Set was not a god of evil. He was the supreme deity of power, trade, and gold. His cult ruled the southern trade routes, bringing wealth from the harsh desert mineral mines into the Nile Valley. He was a god of life, born from the earth, representing the fierce, burning energy of the sun that forced life to push through the soil. The concept of Set as a monster did not exist. He was a founding pillar of Egyptian civilization, an ancient protector of the indigenous tribes, before the politics of the North systematically erased his glory from history. To the ancient Egyptians, the universe was governed by Mat, the delicate balance of cosmic order. But order cannot exist without chaos. A river that never changes its course becomes a stagnant swamp. Osiris represented the stagnant, passive order of the fertile mud. Set represented the dynamic, violent force of the desert storm. Egypt needed both to survive. Without the harsh, blistering desert heat of Set, the Nile floods would never recede, rotting the crops in the ground. Without the aggressive storms of Set, the trade caravans would be buried by nomadic raiders who feared his name. Set was the necessary evil, the dark energy that forced civilization to grow, adapt, and fight. By demonizing Set, the later kingdoms broke the scales of Mat, choosing a comfortable lie over a brutal truth, and dooming Egypt to ultimate stagnation. How did a savior become a demon? Follow the political bloodlines. During the late dynastic periods, a massive religious coup occurred across Egypt. The cult of Osiris centered in the wealthy, fertile delta of Lower Egypt, grew technologically and politically dominant to consolidate absolute power over the entire empire. They needed to destroy the ancient priesthoods of Upper Egypt, who worshipped Set. They rewrote the sacred texts. They transformed the structural, cosmic debate about balance into a moral civil war of good versus evil. They painted Osiris as the innocent, slaughtered saint, and Set as the jealous, chaotic murderer. It was the most successful smear campaign in human history. They systematically chiseled Set's face from the temple walls, smashed his statues, and turned a vital warrior protector into the father of lies. We fear the storm because the executioner told us to. Set was not a devil born of malice. He was a soldier forced into the shadows, a necessary chaos demonized by the priests who stole his legacy to secure their thrones. So, let's settle the score in the comments. Is a god who fights the serpent of annihilation every single night a monster? Or the ultimate hero? And is a priesthood that erases their savior from history for political power righteous or completely corrupt? Did you spot the hidden golden Ankh coin in the ruins of Nakada? The first to timestamp it correctly gets pinned at the top. Now, the throne is yours to command. Who do we investigate next in the forbidden vaults of Dark Egypt? The terrifying judgment of Anubis, or the dark magic of Thoth? Vote now by typing your choice below. The sands have spoken. Until next time, stay in the shadows.